Leo Sun and Rising. Welcome to a video on the transit of Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. Jupiter will be transiting through the sign of Taurus between May 16th, 2023 and May 25th, 2024. And so we're talking just over a year. For the sign of Leo, this is going to be in your 10th house of career. The 10th house is the house of status. It's the house of your place in the world. We could call that your status, but because career can also give people definition, it certainly is connected to that as well. The 10th house can be authority figures. Well, I said status, your reputation. But going back to authority figures, I have heard different things, which I'm using cafeastrology.com for some of my talking points. So shout out to them. Important to note that I flesh out what they're saying, so it's my interpretation. Maybe they didn't mean it the same way. But the other thing that they didn't mention anything beyond authority figures in their piece on the transit of Jupiter through the 10th house. But I have, read various astrologers connecting the father to the 4th house and the mother to the 10th house, which makes no sense to me because the archetype of the nurture, which the 4th house of home and family, the opposite house would represent, would be the mother, even if in certain cases that isn't how it goes. And then I've also heard that if your mother is the main authority figure, then she will be the 10th house figure. I like to say that the father is the 10th house. And if the father isn't in the picture, then some other male that is taking over for the father, maybe a grandfather or the mother's new husband or boyfriend or what have you, those kinds of things. But I realize in some cases that's not going to be accurate. But anyway, the other thing that I did see here that they mentioned is that in some cases when Jupiter transits your 10th house, that it means that you get married. I have no clue because I did look that up to see if, what the connection is between marriage and the 10th house. Maybe it's like about titles or something. I don't know if that's the 10th house and Mr. and Mrs. are titles. But if any of you know about this connection, I would appreciate if you could write below about it because, there with Vedic astrology, sometimes I read some of the associations in Vedic astrology, and they sometimes are different for the houses, what they represent, or they kind of have some interesting associations. And I'm, a Western astrologer, so I wonder if they're getting this from Vedic astrology, and that's not something that I'm very up on. So, and Cafe Astrology is a Western astrology site, so I don't know. I don't think that would necessarily be the case, but yeah, just let me know if you know about this. But anyway, Jupiter is the planet of expansion. And when Jupiter comes into any house, you can experience positivity in that area, growth. Okay. And also, when we talk about positivity, joy. I mean, are those words synonymous? Kind of, sort of, but not necessarily. Positive means that you see things in a constructive way, like you have a can-do spirit and you, like, your career is something that you can you can see that it is a good thing. It is growing. It is, in other words, you have a good vibe towards it. Joy is just that feeling of, you know, enjoyment about what you're doing itself. So this can be a time when you're just really happy doing your career. And sometimes, these things come and go because you might do it for a number of years and then it loses its luster to you and you're ready to move on. And it's all part of the grand scheme of things. It's all part of the cycle of life that we should sometimes be really into something and then maybe we withdraw from it. So this could be the time when you're really into it. And Jupiter can also be about travel, and travel to me represents freedom. So it makes sense in that context as well. And I would be remiss if I didn't note that Uranus is transing through the 10th house for you as well in Taurus. It has been for several years. So Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and it's all about freedom, technology, innovation, and what else? Just like being a nonconformist. So this can be like your public image. This can be how you do things that are related to your career. So maybe doing unexpected things like career moves or doing the type of career that is Uranian in nature. And I even think like being a Reiki master qualifies. Anything astrology can be that as well, but anything Aquarius, Uranus is very intuitive, so any kind of healing arts, but also things that are kind of quirky. But in terms of technology, with Jupiter here as well, this is like the perfect storm, but that doesn't sound like a good term. The perfect chance for Leos who want to work remotely to do so if you aren't doing it already. Because the reason I say if you aren't doing it already is because Uranus has been here for several years. So even that alone could have made you work remotely. But with Jupiter, it could be travel. So maybe you've been working from home in your jammies, but now you want to be in beach clothes. Somewhere nice and warm. Leos tend to love the sun, I think. I knew a Leo that really loved the sun, so I figure it's because they're big cats. The big cats love the sun too, or even house cats. Well, I'm getting off on a tangent here. But yeah, so that might be something that is, making even more freeing for Leo people to kind of have that autonomy to be able to choose where they do their work from, and that could be something that is very appealing to you. And the 10th house is the house of success, and that can increase, of course, and even fame, I dare say it. Of course, if you're an insurance salesman, that's going to be a real hard sell that you're going to become famous from that, but you might get recognition. It can be recognition from the public based on what it is that you're doing professionally. And so you could experience a lot of productivity. They call it profitable productivity, maybe because Jupiter has also been associated with money. So, and advancement in your career might mean a promotion, for instance, and success with it. And if you have your own business, like if you're an entrepreneur, that would also apply. And so they mentioned an award. Well, an award, that's easy to understand because that's part of recognition. But marriage, I still can't figure that one out. They talk about embracing the limelight because that is something that will enhance the Jupiter influence. Well, I don't think we have to say that to Leo. Leo is on top of that one. But yeah, usually when we think of fame, we think of somebody in the entertainment business. So, if you're in that, even if you're somebody who's not, in your 20s, you could still be noticed or discovered, if you will. Another thing that they mentioned that I think is very important is about having integrity. And they mentioned integrity and honesty. Now, this is because Jupiter rules the sign of Sagittarius, and it's all about your moral compass, your philosophical framework that, dictates your life. I mean, Jupiter rules the ninth house, and that's the God house. So yes, morality. Now, we've made morality kind of a dirty word. It isn't. It doesn't mean being sanctimonious. But it does mean having some kind of moral construct that guides your life. If it's through religion, that's cool. If it's just through your own ethical framework, awesome. People in positions of authority, people who are powerful in society, will look at you with a positive eye, or, they will see you in a positive light, and that could open doors for you as well. Okay, well, that's what I have for you, Leo. I hope that this resonated. This is a general reading because depending on your degree of sun or rising, you will have Jupiter entering that 10th house at various times, but it is something that is going to occur for you at some point. So it's worth hearing about regardless of the exact date that it enters that house. If you would like a private reading, and the transit readings that I do, they do cover these things, talking about the specific dates that a transit like this is in a particular house. And, with the unequal house system, that can really get, I don't want to say tricky, but it does vary from person to person. You can find out more information at the link below. I am doing some specials with double readings, so you can find out all about that below. My website is rainandmoonastrology.com. Thank you for listening, and take care. Bye.